The Office of Cannabis Management completed its final stop of the month for its statewide listening tour at the Minnesota State University campus in Mankato to hear questions and concerns from the community about the state's growing marijuana industry. KYC's Evan Berg listened in to hear what attendees had to say.
We want to build a market that services all Minnesotans, including people that don't want cannabis in their communities. And so being able to go to all corners of Minnesota and talk to people about how they're experiencing this new market is really important.
On Thursday night, a packed crowd of entrepreneurs had a lot of questions from Minnesota's Office of Cannabis Management about a growing industry.
Everybody's, was just trying to get everybody kind of on the same page with the licensees.
The OCM said it had issued around 300 licenses across the state since legalization. And the median price of adult use cannabis is currently $14.52 per gram. But that price could go down as supply grows.
Products have been in short supply. A lot of ma and pa dispensaries are struggling right now, waiting for the market to kind of flush itself out.
Other businesses had concerns about the minimum sample size needed for testing batches and the future of the hemp-derived THC market with an upcoming federal ban.
My goal in attending was to find out the latest news from the Office of Cannabis Management so that I can, and my agency, can further protect the youth within our community so that we know that cannabis isn't readily available to them.
Jenna Stevenson from Southwest Health and Human Services in Marshall was an outlier at the meeting. With only 15 inspectors on staff at OCM, she claims the office hasn't been accessible for communities in southwest Minnesota that had questions about enforcement.
I was really glad that I was able to attend, being able to obtain that information and bring it back to my agency and bringing it back to surrounding counties so that perhaps we could be a site for one of these listening sessions.
As the OCM looks to hold more listening sessions, she hopes it will expand outreach so more communities like hers can share questions and concerns. In Mankato, Evan Berg, KYC News Now.
The Office of Cannabis Management says the listening tour plans to make stops in Moorhead and Rochester and is looking to schedule even more after that if it can.